Okay, so I'm going to do a video of my first tag, which is going around on YouTube at the moment, and so I just thought it'd be a bit interesting and give you guys a little bit of, insight into my life and stuff. So, here we go. Okay, so, first YouTube video, well, this is my second video, so it's kind of obvious. My first one was just that ridiculous hair collection one. My first Facebook profile pic, I'm not too sure. I think it was this one, but yeah, I'm not sure. Do I still talk to my first love? Yes I do. We're still good friends. What was your first alcoholic drink? That would probably be my friend's 18th. It was a ridiculous party, and I was 17 at the time. And Sam, if you're watching this, you will never live that down, okay? I actually just found a photo from that party, so I just have to take a look at this. Okay, so back to it. What was my first job? Well, my first job was in an ice cream shop that my mum owned, and yeah. At first I didn't even like ice cream, and then we got cookie dough, and then my life became amazing, pretty much. And then I also worked at Dippin' Dots as well, just after, so that was my first job. Okay, so first car. My first car was a car my dad got me when I was 16. It was a Hyundai XL 95 model, I'm pretty sure. And it was like a rusty old pink colour, and he swore it was red and I swore it was pink. And anyway, it was really unsafe and I couldn't drive it, and I didn't even have my L's at the time, so I ended up selling it. But yeah, I'll learn to drive eventually, but I use buses at the moment. Who was the first person to text me this morning? That would be Ben. Ben always texts me. Who was the first person I thought of this morning? Well, that would be Theodore, because he was right next to me, so. Who was my first grade teacher? My first grade teacher was, well, I was at a Cadivale public, so my first teacher was Mrs. Smith, and she was a lovely old lady. Or she was about 60, but I thought she was heaps old. And she was probably one of the nicest teachers I ever had. I didn't really like teachers during high school, but primary school was pretty awesome. So, yeah, it was probably Mrs. Smith. My first trip on an aeroplane, well, I've never been on an aeroplane before, and so, yeah, hopefully this year, maybe next year, I don't know. I prefer boats. My first best friend, and do we still talk? My first best friend would probably have to be Monique. It was my mum's goddaughter, and she lives in Sydney now. So yeah, I haven't heard from her since I was 13. So it's been quite a while, but we used to be best friends, and we even came up with this club. It was called the Me Club, because her name was Monique and I'm Eliza, so it was the M and the E, and we had little denim handbags with Me Club written on it, and yeah, we were lame, but it was lots of fun. Okay, so my first sleepover. Now, I've had lots of sleepovers, but the one I remember was when I made a friend in year 6, and she stayed over, and it was like the first time that she'd ever been away from her nan, and so she was terrified and she wouldn't go to sleep. And so I remember staying up the whole night, and we ended up playing Spyro on my PlayStation 1 until about 4 in the morning, until she fell asleep. Now, if you don't call that best friends, yeah, I don't know what would be. It was pretty cool. Okay, so what was the first thing I did this morning? Well, I got up at 4 and made Theodore a bottle, so I think that's probably the first thing I did. But like when I woke up, yeah, it was just, I got cuddles. That was probably the best part of the morning. My first concert was, that I remember, was seeing Avril. I think I was 13, and we were sitting up the back, and because we had seat tickets, and I went with these girls. I didn't really know them. They were friends of my mum's friends, but yeah. And then because it was screaming so loud, the security guy put us in the mosh pit, and then it was just ridiculous. And then we went out the back like after the concert, and then Avril signed my hat. Oh my god, it was just the best. And yeah, I still like Avril. That was like 7 years ago. Okay, so first broken bone. I don't think I've ever broken a bone, but my pinky's pretty warped. Like if you look at it, like I can't straighten it. So I think I'd say that's the only thing I've broken. I mean, Theodore broke my cheekbone like a week ago, but yeah, I say my pinky's probably what's broken, and I fell off a bike when I was 10. It really hurt. My brother had to come and pull the bike off me. Yeah. My first piercing. Now, I've had my ears pierced since I was about 6 months old, but because I don't remember that, I don't really count that as my first piercing, and my first piercing was my septum, which is like the hole through my nose. You can probably still see the scar. Yeah, I took it out. It was a really stupid idea to take it out because I miss it. But yeah, my septum was first, and then I had my Monroe, which you can see the hole. And then I recently, in March, got my tragus pierced. Just that little one there. And an apprentice did that one, and it hurt like a bitch. I would seriously rather give birth again than redo that. It's ouch. Okay. When was my first kiss? Oh, okay. This is a bit embarrassing, but it was in my room, so it was in this room. And I was 15, I think, at the time, and he was 14. And my best friend dared us to date, and I didn't really want to, but anyway, we'd dated for like a month by then. And then he came to a birthday party, I think it was my brother's birthday party, and he stood there and he kept asking if he could kiss me. And then my friend was just like, oh, just kiss him, just kiss him. And so it was real quick. It was like a peck on the lips. And I was just like, oh my god, I was so embarrassed. And then he was just like, oh, can we do it again? And I ran away. It was a bit scary. But, yeah. Oh, okay. And first sport I ever played. Well, I did ballet and dance when I was little, like 3 and 4 and stuff. But I never really liked sport. I'm not an athletic kind of person. But in year 3, because all the other girls were doing it, I decided to join up with netball, and I hated it. I used to pretend to be sick every Saturday morning. I'd hate going to training. I hated the girls that I played with, and yeah, just me and sports do not mix. I then played soccer in year 7 and 8, and that was alright, but yeah. I think I only went because my friend went, and then she quit, and I was like, oh, so I left as well. And I don't really do sports. Yeah. So, I think that's all the questions. But, yeah, if you've got any more questions, just comment and I'll answer them. So, bye.